Hey everyone, this is Teri. Welcome back in. Today is 7 dumb things people say to motorcyclists. Before we get into the video, I would like to thank you for joining us and invite you to please subscribe, like, comment. Believe it or not, when you take that little bit of time to do that, it helps the YouTube algorithm recognize my videos and get them out there a little further, and I appreciate it more than I could ever tell you. Thank you so much. Are you ready? Let's go. Now, this is by no means a comprehensive list and is meant for entertainment purposes only. All the disclaimers today, my gosh. These may not be the top 7 things for every rider, but these are definitely in my top 7 things that I hate when people say to me. Sometimes even other bikers will say this stuff. And I have to admit, I'm going to say number 7. Well, 7 would be at the end now, wouldn't it, Teri? The one that I have listed for number 7 is one of the ones that made a huge negative impact on me, emotionally, psychologically, and as a rider. And I'm going to save that for the end because it might just piss me off, and we don't want to see that. One of the first things, people that don't even know you, for some reason feel very comfortable saying this. I saw a horrible motorcycle accident, and I am sure the rider didn't survive. I have some questions for you. Did I ask for your opinion? Do you know me? Do you know all of the facts of the accident and what happened? If the answer to any of those are no, don't ask me that question. Or I guess that was a statement. Don't say it, okay? Just don't say it. Because you know what? I have seen a lot of really bad car accidents, but I didn't go up and ask them or tell them about an accident that I had seen in the hopes of maybe scaring them away from their car. Another one is, my brother had an accident and he quit riding because of it. Do I look like your brother? No. Was your brother drinking? Did they pull his license? If he was? Are you giving me all of the facts here? My brother had an accident while he was drinking, rode himself into a ditch, but he's still riding. Do I endorse drinking and riding? No, he was a dumbass. Here's a great one, and I think it's perfect. This is perfect. In case you didn't hear me, I think this is perfect for today's generation. I used to ride, then we had kids, and I decided to give it up. In my opinion, you're teaching your kids a few things. Not to be adventurous, not to have hobbies, and that they will control your life. Should you be more careful when you have kids? Of course. That's not what I'm saying. But we want our kids to love. I can understand someone not riding their motorcycle. But if it's a passion, if you don't want to ride, that's fine, don't ride. But if it's a passion, you want your kids to learn safety and respect. Because chances are, if you rode, your kids are going to ride one day. And wouldn't you rather have them learn something when they're young and it becomes second nature than when they're older and they're having to pick it up and it's not second nature? I would. I hope I made that clear. I know there are people that make choices to give it up so they can spend more time with their children, but don't teach your kids fear. That's one of the worst things we can do is teach our kids fear. We want them to be brave and strong and adventurous. Heck, we can't even play dodgeball anymore. What's with that? That was fun. You guys, if you agree with me or you disagree with me, please put it in the comments. Here's another one. They say it's not if, but when. How many of you have driven a car and have had a fender bender that's been your fault or caused by the actions of another? I don't want to hear, it's not if, but when. Have they also said to people that drive cars, it's not if, but when. Life is inherently dangerous. If it's not. Sounded like Bill Clinton here. What's the meaning of the word is? If it's truly not if, but when, we all need to stay in our houses in a little bubble with a can of Lysol, because anything can happen to you. Whether you're awake or asleep, in your house, on your stairs, in your car, at the grocery store. Don't do it, guys. It's a put down. You know it. We know it. Be courteous and treat people with respect. I really kind of think the only time that phrase should be used is in regard to kids becoming teenagers. You have no idea what you are in for. And that's a definite, it's not if, but when. Here's another one. How much money do you spend on that bike? People get brave, don't they? How much money do you spend on your boat, your race cars, the house? Dumb questions. I kind of look down at their Louboutin shoes, with the little red soles. How much did you spend on those shoes that you can't really walk in? How much did you spend on that car? How much was your house? How much did all that fishing tackle cost you? It's a mighty nice camera over there. How much was that? Just don't say that. This next one, I think I have a little bit of a story with this one. I have a lot of friends that are doctors and nurses that like to ride. As a matter of fact, the man that got us into purchasing Harleys was my doctor. And one of my very best friends is a trauma nurse. She rides a Harley like no one's business. That woman is in control of her bike. High five, Karen. Don't you know that motorcycles are suicide machines? No, they're not. I'm not reckless. I had a doctor one time, and I had a stress fracture in my knee. It was from my chaps, one from my motorcycle, it was from my chaps. And I went in, and he was a pilot, and proceeded to lecture me on my lifestyle of riding a motorcycle, which this doctor didn't agree with. And the doctor said, you just really shouldn't be doing that. This doctor was a pilot, okay? My dad and his friend were in air races. And I remember sitting with my dad when he got back from one of these races. And the weather had gotten really bad in Virginia. And all of the pilots, but 2, decided to call it. The weather wasn't worth flying in. And I looked at my dad and watched the tears roll down his eyes when he told me his 2 friends that had decided to chance it flew into the side of a mountain. But we still fly. I think it's maybe a subtle dig at the motorcycle community as a whole. People have this preconceived notion of what bikers are like. I have sleeve tattoos. I have a 3/4 back piece. I have tattoos everywhere. That doesn't negate the fact that I'm very well educated. That doesn't negate the fact that I'm a business person. So just don't do it. It just, like I said, it speaks more to you than it does to us. All right, this one I saved for last. And I told you that this had personally affected me. It was in May, Memorial Day weekend of 2007. I was sitting on Highway 205 trying to merge onto I-5 to go to Napa Valley for a nice long weekend. Traffic was stopped, something that was really unusual at that point. I'm looking around and I got hit. This woman was texting. She had kids jumping around in her car. She didn't see the traffic across the whole highway was shut down. And she cue-balled me. Thank gosh she hit me that way. I go flying off the bike. I remember my taillight coming by me. And then I remember thinking, don't hit your helmet. I was lying on the highway crying. I already knew my leg was broken. I knew my back was messed up, but I knew I was gonna live. I knew I was gonna be okay, but I am just crying. And I remember bits and pieces, but I remember a police officer coming up and saying, you're gonna be okay. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Because I can't see my motorcycle. I can't see my motorcycle. I love my motorcycle so much. and I couldn't see it. I didn't know what was going to happen to it. Where was it? So that told you right there how much I love my bike. And it was probably 2 days after the accident, I heard this the first time. Are you gonna ride again? I was like, of course I'm gonna ride again. Why would I not ride again? I've got plans. My dad and I are planning to really custom my bike. Then I started hearing it a lot, even from people I didn't know. Are you gonna ride again? It had never crossed my mind not to ride until probably the 500th time I heard it. And I still didn't think that it affected me. But when I was healed and when we got my bike back, all put together, all bright and shiny, brand new and beautiful, I was afraid to ride. Not because of the accident. I didn't do anything wrong. I was sitting on the highway and a woman hit me. But because a lot of people had said, are you gonna ride again? That thought stuck in my mind, and it really messed with me. It took me probably a good year to get that out of my mind. And riding is something that I am passionate about. I love it. Guys, don't ask people if they're gonna ride again. Have you been in a car wreck? Are you gonna drive again? You've seen the airline crashes. Have you gotten back on an airplane? Let's level the playing field. Motorcycles are not the death traps people make them out to be. It's the person riding, it's their training, it's their skill, and it's the situation. My mother was killed by physician negligence. A doctor that was taking care of her did the wrong thing, and my mom died. You gotta live your life. I still see doctors. I'm gonna still ride my motorcycle. I still drive my car. I still get in airplanes. I still walk downstairs. There's an inherent risk with anything we do. Even if you think you're helping something, or by saying something like that, don't. Think of the things you do. Think of something really beneficial to say. You guys, I wanna thank you for hanging out with me. Please subscribe. I would love it. It is such an honor. Please comment. Leave me things that have been said to you. What do you say back? I mean, I don't want to be rude to anybody, but what is your response? We realize as motorcyclists, we are in an inherently dangerous hobby. Just like people that race cars, which there was a doctor up the street, his girls were into car racing, airplanes, boats. There's no guarantee. You need to live life. You need to have fun. And don't criticize people that like to enjoy their life in a way different than you. You guys, with that, I'm going to say thank you so much. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Until next time.